trying to get a good clean start. They won't even make the start-finish line. The around the outside. Is it Noah Watt? Indeed it is. From grid number 3, the young Dane, who qualified fastest on a dry track on Friday, has swept around the outside. He leads them down the back straight for the first time, ahead of the young Brit Clement Novalak. Logan Sargent, the pole sitter, is third. Marta Garcia up the inside. She goes now up into 4th spot. The young Spaniard puts a move. It looks as though that was either Lorenzo Colombo or Davide Lombardo. Noah White having to defend vigorously. Novalak looks behind lap. Oh, Noah Watt's gone wide, but he's got a good run out on the rim. Sargent. Marta Garcia now up into 4th spot from Lorenzo Colombo. Isaac Blomqvist, Ulissi Dupau, Lucas Lejore, Milan Ponomarenko, and Bogdan Fetisov rounds out your top 10. How about the German that we just spoke of? David Brinkman's made up 9 places on the opening lap. David's now up into 13th. Speaking of David, opening lap, the Energy Kart driver, number 314, has gone from grid 24. He is now in 12th place. Noah Watt from Clement Novalak, who takes what looks behind him. Huge plumes of spray coming off these Vega tyres. Tight line for... And we've got the race neutralised. Double waved yellow flags, I call it. Race neutralisation in karting talk anyway. Noah Watt leads it with the race neutralised. Double yellow flags. There is no passing under these conditions. There was a kart parked on the inside of the final. And you think he's trying it hard, finding it hard to see. He's got no one in front of him. What about the drivers behind? Huge plumes of spray, as you can see, and they're only at walking pace. 16-lap race. This is 3 laps completed at the end of this one. Well, what a start. We've lost a couple, as is the Russian Ivan Shvetsov. Bad luck, Antonio Serravalle from Toronto in Canada. It's a long way across the Father Peter, and a DNF is no reward for young Antonio. Charles Milesi also is out of the race. One more lap under La France aussi. Number 321 Tony Kart. So we've lost 5 karts, including Mikel Hoyer also, who did have a fastest lap to his name earlier in the weekend. There's David Vidales on your screen, the graphic at least, karts in 1 lap. Podium at the WSK Champions Cup earlier in the year. Him down in 23rd spot, Felipe Drugovic from Maringá in Brazil. Christian Lundgaard down in position number 22. Just Kush Mania, fantastic pre-final. Finished in 4th, but Kush from Forza Racing, he's down in 20th. We get set for a restart. This KF Junior Final, the WSK Supermaster. They all look behind them. There's nothing but go-karts behind each and every driver. Noah Watt leads them through turn number 1. This is the start of their 5th. Is free to pass the Dane if he's quick enough. He's coming under attack himself by your pole sitter. Logan Sargent has a big look up the inside. Clement Novalak gets it sideways. They accelerate up the back straight for the 5th time. Noah Watt turns in, natural understeer in these soaking wet conditions. Novalak, that's the line he favours, very, very deep, the traditional wet weather line. Lorenzo Colombo sits just behind this pack, ahead of Ulissi Dupau. Marta Garcia is still up there, the young Spaniard in the Alonso kart. Clement Novalak gets fantastic traction right behind young Noah on the inside. Oh, what a move! Clem pass on. Look at this. Noah Watt had no choice but to concede. Clement Novalak turned in, used the natural momentum of the kart. Didn't even understeer, just let it drift. corrected it, is your first round winner, Clement Novalak, in the 3.20 Tony Kart. Noah Watt's not gone anywhere. Clement Novalak signals to him, says, let's try and pull away from the rest of the field. Gee, not by the look of that. Noah Watt's going to need to pass the Brit if there's any chance, because I can see Clement Novalak. The rain is coming down at Castelletto di Branduzzo. But how well is that Tony Kart set up of Clement Novalak? Why do I say that? Because it lifts the inside rear. Soaking wet conditions. He's got fantastic grip out of this machine. Noah Watt for Ricky Flynn Motorsport, as Milan Ponomarenko go straight. Clement Novalak going right to the limit of adhesion that time. You saw the kart fucking jump as he tried to turn it in. That's Logan Sargent, the American flag on his helmet. The driver from Florida in the United States of America. Fighting there with his teammate Noah Watt. Lorenzo Colombo says, I'll have a piece of this. Indeed he does, he just marches on through. Lorenzo Colombo is now on the podium if he can hold that position for another 10 laps. Yeah, just a little bit of a big ask. Colombo, Ulisi Dupao, Davide Vidales is now up into 5th. Noah Watt has dropped back to 6th spot. Sun Yun Yang is 7th ahead of Milan Ponomarenko. Fantastic drive by the young German. David Brinkman from Cologne in Germany is in 9th ahead of Marta Garcia. Max Hess, the other German. And what about the French driver? Jean-Baptiste Minoir has made up 17 positions. Baptiste is now in 12th. He only just scraped into the pole with an issue earlier on this morning. He's on the charge. Jean-Baptiste Minoir, sponsored by McDonald's in France, racing for the Tony Kart racing team in 2000 and kart in front of him until you get up to about the 3rd or 4th place drivers. Clement Novalak across the line for half race distance. That's Noah Watt going through. Davide Vidales in the energy kart. Tom Lelouet in the up the back straight one more time. Gets it sideways under acceleration. That's how slippery it is. It is still raining. Any chance of having the rain ease up for the KZ final at the conclusion of this one's virtually gone out the window. It is for sure going to be still a wet race. Not a chance that we will have anything approaching a dry line for the KZ final. That's going to be racing dynamite at the conclusion of this KFJ Junior final, which is currently being led by the Swiss Brit Clement Novalak. I did ask him once, I said, do you prefer to be called British or prefer to be called Swiss? He says, I don't care. I don't go any faster, whatever you call me. But he did respond with a perfect English accent. So we will call him an English driver. Move up the inside by Kush Maney, the number 317 Forza Racing kart. Logan Sargent has a big look at Clement Novalak going onto the back straight, but Novalak rear, lifting nicely, very softly set up go-kart. Again, he's still getting gripped down. When he turns in, sparks flying off the ripple strip that time. Watch the inside rear. Gets very light. A slow corner through the puddles. Logan Sargent, very used to racing in these wet conditions, is young Logan. Race away, and he was absolutely distraught when he did that earlier in the year at La Conca, but he came back a week later and won the second round of the WSK Champions Cup. He won't make the same mistake again. He's a very switched on, intelligent, disciplined young driver. Lorenzo Colombo goes through. Best presented karts here this weekend. The new collaboration between Birul Art, as they are now known. We mentioned Mr. Nicholas Todt was here himself on Friday to oversee the operation, then jetted off to oversee his GP2 and GP3 teams. Very busy young man is Nicholas, but very committed to top level international karting. Now the boss of the Birul Art racing team. No 6 last time round. Noah Watt back in 5th place from Germany is still charging. He's now up into 7th. One behind the Russian is young Max, and ahead of the Frenchman Jean-Baptiste Minoer. Of course, Max Hess in the Croc promotion chassis. It is bucketing down here at Castelletto yesterday. That's actually the forecast for tomorrow. But today, no chance of it being anything but wet and miserable. The racing on the track has still been sensational. Clement Novalak continues to lead from the American Logan Sargent. Ulissi Dupau in the Birrell, briefly up into 3rd spot, but it looks as though Noah Watt's taken that back. David Brinkman, Net Zero TKART for the KSM racing team. Felipe Drugovic from Brazil up into 16th behind Lucas Legeray. 4 laps to go at the conclusion of this one. Novalak from Sargent. Up the back straight. This is where Novalak struggles for traction, although he wasn't too bad that time. Watch the inside rear for Novalak as he turns in. Skips up in the air. That's how much grip he's getting out of this TKART. Both of these drivers. This is the KF junior class. Will also fight Muro Lecese on September 27 this year, where it'll be about 25 degrees warmer than it is today. American Logan Sargent has not given up on taking a remarkable, if somewhat unlikely, victory. He did start from pole position, but as soon as Clement Novalak took the lead, give this up easily. He's led since about lap 4 or 5. Logan Sargent is still within half a second of him though. Watch through here. This is where Novalak struggles a little bit. Comes onto the straight again. Inside rear. Skips up. Hotel hairpin with 2.5 laps to go. That's Ulissi Dupau in the Birrell Art Kart. Working nicely also. Here's Logan Sargent. Well, now the race is starting to get serious. 2 and a bit laps to go. Logan Sargent takes the Novalak over the ripple strip. Sargent's going to get the run. He goes the out. Novalak did to Noah Watt earlier in the race. Sargent's going to get the run onto the start finish straight. They are side by side into chill side by side NASCAR style. But it's the American Logan Sargent who leads with a lap and a half to go. Clement Novalak's side. This is the part of the circuit where the Brit struggles. Oh, I spoke too soon because he's taken the lead back. A look over the shoulder, they touch. Up the back straight. Oh, Sargent's in the grass. Sargent is in the grass. Novalak has wing. I think he's got bent steering. Noah Watt has You saw the move up the back straight. Well, maybe his steering's not too bad because he's recovered. He's in 4th spot. That was sensational. Look at this. In the grass. He had into the grass. Clement Novalak carried on. I don't want to preempt the stewards, but I dare say 1 lap to go now for the Brit. Noah Watt, the Dane, badly for me actually. I'm up into 2nd spot. He did lead earlier on. He dropped back to 5th. He's in 2nd. Not too bad. Sargent, I wouldn't want to be within 30 metres of the American when they come into pit lane. Ulissi Dupau in the Birrell Art. He's looking at a podium spot, the Belgian. The visor on. Well, let's just say the scene's going to be very, very interesting in Parc Fermé in half a lap's time. But take nothing. Clement Novalak, winner of the first round of the series at Adria. He's got this TKART hooked up and flying. Choose the checkered flag. Comes out for the TKART driver, Clement Novalak. He wins it. Noah Watt, a fantastic drive into second.